morning, Mr. G and my fellow friend. Today our topic we talk about why vegan, why we should be a vegan, and why we should eat a vegan diet. So the first one is what is the vegan diet? The veganism is definitely the ways of living that you exclude all form of animal products, including meat, egg, and dairy products. Vegan diet is only contain only plant and food made from plants, such as you can say vegetable, grain, nuts, and fruits. Everything can make from a plant. So the different that's still some people still don't understand the difference between vegetarian and the vegan. The difference between vegetarians and vegan is vegetarians they cut meat from their diet, but they still eat egg and dairy products. Why vegan only eat plant and no animal byproducts. According most people still thinking if we eat vegan diet we don't get enough nutrition per day, but in fact it's not true. According to the FDA daily recommendation for proteins, adults consume 50 grams of protein per day based on 2,000 calorie diet, and we can get it protein on vegan diet. Here, for example, 200 grams of tofu, we can get 18 grams of protein. 2 cups of Khoa, we know we can get 16.8 grams of protein, and half cup cooking serving of beans. We can get 4 to 9 grams, and 1/4 cup nuts we can get 7 to 9 grams. So typically we can get 50 grams of protein per day based on this vegan diet. Another nutrient many people think we be lacking if we on vegan diet is fat. Vegan diet is fat. Actually we can get it from the food enriched of fat. So you can see the wheat grain. So lastly, vitamin B12. Vitamin B12. This is another vitamin we can. Some people also be lacking out on a diet. So vitamin B12 is needed for the healthy red blood cell, and it's good for your nerve function. We can get the vitamin B12 on B12 fortified syrup or B12 supplement, or we can get it from soya products. Veganism is not a modern diet, but in fact its practice has been from since ancient times. And Hinduism, Chinese, Sikhism, they follow to promote vegan and vegetarian. This is the table show you guys can the parent diet for vegan. You can see the carb like zero gram pasta potato. The potato is outside fat. And some people choose to follow a vegan diet for a various reason. It's come from ethic to environmental, and some people they can also eat vegan on to with desire to provide their health. My partner will talk about the first reason they are on vegan. You should eat vegan diet.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah, and in this point in particular, I will be talking about the environmental impact of veganism. Arguably, one of the biggest impacts that veganism have and benefit our planet is on the environment. We have heard the words climate changing religiously in the past 10 years, and unfortunately, it became worse and worse year by year. And you might think as individual, how can your diet be the solution or the reason for such a universal problem like this? And I would say greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases, for some of you who don't know what is that, is the gas that contribute to the greenhouse effect by absorbing infrared radiation. And two examples of that, carbons and methane. And of course the humans are not innocent of that because we have a lot of factories and we drive cars everywhere. But according to the United Nations Food, animals who are raised for meat industry produce 18% more of the greenhouses than the transport, which is, some of you think 18% is not a huge number, but it has a really big impact on the environment, especially towards climate changing. Another thing, these animals need a space and room for them to be raised. And to reach that, we need to restructure the whole planet. A lot of forests been destroyed just to afford a place for these animals. We are clearing an Amazon at astounding rate every minute just to afford a place for animals who are for meat industry. And that leads to a lot of dangerous results. First of all, these animals, it increased the chance of these animals to be extinct because we are destroying their places, their natural place for them to be lived in. And another thing, the wild is not only for them to live, it's not only a shelter, but it provides their food as well. And this is a huge problem that we have because by destroying the forests here, we have less green in the world, which means less oxygen as well. Another thing that we have is like we have a lot of animals that we raise them to eat them at the end of the day. But these animals produce 7 million pounds of waste per minute. And of course you might ask, how did we get rid of this waste? Unfortunately, humans just threw it directly in the ocean, which creates a massive marine pollution. And that is very dangerous for the marine animals because it reduces the amount of oxygen for them. And according to studies that's done recently, every year more than 1 million seabirds are being killed in their natural habitats because of the marine pollution. And of course, it's not the best for us to eat seafood because the water is already polluted. I will talk about the big elephant in the room, which is beef. Your burger, your steak, do a really miserable job for this planet. We have a lot of cows, and cows, like humans, they poop, they fart. But when they fart, the worst happens because they produce methane. We have 1.5 billion cows are raised to be eaten in the end of the year. But these cows produce every day 500 liters of methane, which is enough to make a small refrigerator work. This is a lot, and methane is very dangerous, and it's worse than the carbon because it interacts with the sun 34 times more than carbon, and it's heat up our planet. The last one that I want to talk about is dryness and veganism, and you might think how veganism can be related to these issues. To produce 1 pound of meat, it requires 1,800 liters of water. This is a lot, and for 1 pound, it's not even worth it. And animals are like us. They require food and water directly or indirectly through their food. And they eat more than 70% of the greens and cereal in the United States. And basically, you are giving your food to make it for your food in the end of the day. To produce 100 calories of a grain, to produce only 3 calories of meat, and to give food to your food. And the last thing, producing 12 pounds of beef is approximately equal a swimming pool amount of water. So 12 pounds only, it's equal a whole swimming pool. So instead of that, we have 30% of the world population who live in a dryness. We can instead of producing a little amount of meat, we can help them to suffer their dryness and make this planet healthier and better for us. Moving to Audrie.
For health reasons, health benefits. So there was this Facebook user called Debbie. She was diagnosed with bowel cancer, and she thought that she lived pretty healthily because she ate vegetables mostly and ate very few meat. However, her doctors gave her no reason. But when she watched What the Health, it's a documentary by a famous filmmaker raising these issues regarding how consuming animal products affects your health negatively. She began to understand the consequences of her diet. And so I'll be trying to highlight these the several factors, the benefits, the health benefits, why a vegan diet is better. So these are some of the reasons why vegans suffer less cardiovascular diseases and other health-related issues. And they also have phytonutrients because they consume more vegetables, and plant-based diet, which contains which gives cancer-protecting, which has cancer-protecting properties, and it also helps to maintain a healthy weight and lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. So, firstly, the vegan diet is richer in certain nutrients. So if you decide to shift from your typical Western diet filled with meat and animal-based products to a vegan diet, it would have to be a transition process. So you would have to go into a whole grain foods like seeds, nuts, etc., which has a lot of minerals like folate, vitamin A, C, E, which does help you in regenerating your body, nerves, and overall. So they also provide more fiber, and you don't suffer from constipation, and overall they're better, even beneficial plant compounds. And it also contains, the second reason is because it helps you lose excess weight. So a lot of people turn to plant-based diets because it helps to boost their metabolism. And it helps to maintain a proper BMI or body mass index, and because they contain less saturated fats. Saturated fats are fats which are coming from animals, and dairy, like animal-based products, and meat and dairy products contain a lot of them. By reducing the consumption of animal-based products, they would substitute that for even the proteins. They could get that from beans or nuts. So they don't have the saturated fats, but they do have the proteins which your body needs. And the carbohydrates, a lot of people have these misconceptions that carbs are bad, but plants do contain a lot of carbs, and we all need a lot of carbs for our studies and for whatever work we do, because they are the energy that you need to run your day. The third reason is because they help to maintain your blood sugar level, lower your blood sugar level, helps to have a proper insulin regulation in your body, and also helps to improve kidney function. So if you have like fats in your body, it hampers your kidney functioning, and because it's not good. The saturated fats, but unsaturated fats, which is the good variety that comes from plants, that is good for your health. So it helps to boost your kidney function. So these are the testimonials that are given from different people who have switched to vegan diets. So it helped to clear their skin, eczema, cysts, help to lose weight. They were able to get sleep better, and they were able to also live better, felt better overall, mentally, physically, emotionally, because of the fact that they were living. They knew that they were living consciously, and they made the conscious choice to shift to a healthier diet. So like Dr. Caldwell says that some people think that plant-based whole foods diet is extreme, but almost 500,000 people have to go through surgeries under the knife in order to repair their coronary damage. And some people would call that extreme. So veganism is not extreme. So these are the ways that people can live better as a vegan. These are the guidelines. So you don't just force your kid, like a toddler, to be a vegan without any consultation from any sort of pediatricians or consultants. You need to do your research prior to going into it. So you need to ensure that you get your supplements and all in time. Okay, so a lot of people say that where do you get your protein if not from meat, or calcium if not from dairy? But I say to that where does the cow get its protein from, and where does it get its milk from? I mean, they are herbivores, right? So it is possible. Plants contain more, like Popeye the Sailor Man. So, you know, he encouraged us all back in the day to eat our spinach because they contain more calcium. So it's not that if you live on a vegan plant-based diet, you are going to be like calcium deficient and, you know, protein deficient, you won't have muscles. It's not that. You just have to make sure that you supplement your diet properly and do these two. So, like there are lots of people who transition to veganism. I think Black Eyed Peas, you know, all of these people, Mike Tyson. So they all tell that positive, it has helped them overall to become a better person because they knew that they were living consciously, mentally, physically, and spiritually as well.
Okay, good morning. So this is the Yulin Festival, also known as the Dog Days Festival. You've probably seen it around. Okay, so you're probably thinking, oh, that's atrocious. How can we eat such cunty and cute animals? Well, how is it different? Cows, chicks, pigs, they're also cunty and cute. So, look at these wonderful pictures that they use to advertise animal products, okay? You have laughing cow, the cow is so happy. You have this idyllic scene of cows on like a pasture, and you have this chicken that's even advertising itself, it's holding a drumstick. That's ridiculous, right? So, commercial farms, they are businesses, but they just care about profit, and in the name of profit, they will inevitably compromise on the welfare of the animals. See, why would you waste space when you can just cram the chickens in little cages such that they'll never see the light of day? And because they're crammed in such small cages, they are always infected because they're all like in a small space. So hygiene is an issue, and so they give them lots and lots and lots of antibiotics to keep them healthy so that they don't compromise production. And this is the same chicken that you eat every day, by the way. In the transport process of chicken and many other animals for that matter, they are crammed into these cages, and often in the process they will die because of heat stroke and stress, because it's a very foreign environment. So let's talk about milk. You know, in order to have milk, you need to be pregnant, right? That makes sense. So in order to maximize production, they will keep the cows constantly pregnant, like all the time. Once you give birth, you're pregnant again. Because of this torture, the cow's life often ends within 10 years, when their natural lifespan is actually 25 years. So these factory farms, they don't care about the animals, they just want to make profit. Commercial farms they don't inflict cruelty on animals for fun. They are doing it because you are paying them to do it. So do your part, go vegan or go vegetarian, because that also helps, or eat cruelty-free meat, because cruelty-free meat is made in a way that they focus on animal welfare and try not to torture them so much during the process. However, ultimately it is always better to go vegan, and that is why you should go vegan, to avoid animal cruelty.